Okay, we can ride together. Light rail, tech talk. We're going to talk about the social and economical benefits to the community. Okay, so I'm going to share a screen with you. We'll talk about these economic benefits. Here we go. So we have in the calculations that we talked about earlier on in other tech talks, we have 28 full-time jobs by running a light rail tram operation through Byron and Murwillumbah. We have 20 people employed full-time, including drivers, conductors, the rolling stock maintenance, the overheads, the managers, etc., to be able to run the operation. And we have an additional 8 people who would be working on the maintaining the railway corridor and the bridges and other infrastructure along the route. So a total of 28 full-time jobs. That's $3.566 million, $3.6 million coming into the community by this light rail operation. Okay, moving on. What are the economic benefits of having a frequent tram service, at least on the north-south run between Byron and Murwillumbah? Well, as we know, the community needs some transport to connect between our villages and our towns. At the moment, there is a school study going on, a presentation on loneliness in the community and the connectivity between villages. That's a school project that we're hoping to get involved in as well. And of course, the light rail certainly does connect these villages along the line, the communities, and enables people to get out and around and meet them, see their friends. Teenagers, for instance, not having to rely on the parents to be able to move them around all the time because they can safely travel on the trams. There'll be a conductor there who will look after the safety of the people during the journeys. It'll enable people to get out and about, go on social outings, etc., and be able to go and have meals out and go to parties and enjoy themselves a lot more than they can do now, without, of course, the concerns of having a couple of drinks and not being able to get home safely. So we're talking about safe transport, we're talking about community transport, we're talking about jobs. Now, that doesn't include the construction jobs to construct the bike trail or even to construct the light rail upgrades of the existing infrastructure. Those jobs will be in addition to the 28, but of course, I don't count those as sustainable jobs. They're only there for a period of a year or so to be able to do the works. So I note that the Northern Rivers Rail Trail talks about sustainable employment. I'm not quite sure what that is, apart from, again, the construction jobs to get the thing built in the first place. And unless it's the maintenance of the rail trail, of course, that's going to take quite a bit of maintaining in this region here, with the amount of growth we get up here, far more than in rail trails in other parts of the country, and in Victoria, etc. As you all know, here we have grass that grows from 6 inches to 6 feet in 6 weeks. So that's a huge amount of looking after the rail trail and the rail corridor, of which we've got money in there to be able to enable that to happen. So we're not sure where that money's coming from, but of course, as you may be aware, there are figures around that talk about a number of Victorian rail trails that are, after 6 years of operation, they are now a burden on the community, onto the council. Council now having to pay for the upkeep of those rail trails. Not enough income coming in. I believe it's something like 17 out of 19 Victorian rail trails are now a cost burden to the councils. And we'll do some further research and present some more tech talks on that, hopefully, as we go. So what else have we got? So we've got much needed community transport. We've got the parents not needing to constantly run around. I am forever driving up alongside the railway line between Murwillumbah, Crabs Creek, Brunswick Heads, Byron Bay, back again empty, then going back to go and pick them up again, and then backwards. I've been doing this for 25 years. And for any of you out there with young children, that is what you're going to be doing unless you have some safe community transport in which your teenagers can travel along. And then we've got the older folk as well who don't want to drive. They want to be able to go on some sort of public transport. So by having reliable light rail, there will be far less cars on the road. We're talking about a population growth in this area of, I've heard, some 4 times the amount of a population by 2060. How are we going to do that? I mean, if you're going to take away a transport corridor with a light rail, high capacity can be, you can always add more and more carriages to a single tram. You can have multiple trams running at the same on the same sort of schedule, one driver. Far better for the environment. You probably know, if not, I'm going to tell you, it takes 20% of the energy to run steel-wheeled vehicles on steel track as it does a rubber-tired vehicle on a road. So you've got a railway carriage that a light rail carriage which weighs 18 tons, let's say. You can push that along quite easily, whereas you can't push a 18-ton truck on the highway. I'm talking about, physically pushing it with a whole heap of people. We encourage the bicycle usage because more people are going to want to get on and go for a longer journey, knowing that they can actually get a tram to get back again. So it's going to encourage the number of bicycles. Hey, what a fantastic opportunity for businesses to have a bike shop in Murwillumbah and a sister bike shop at the other end of Byron that hires cycles. So people will be able to go one way and come back on the tram, So hire your bike in Murwillumbah, ride to all the way through to Byron, leave your bike there, stay overnight in Byron, or vice versa. Come from Byron, come to Murwillumbah, ride the journey, stay overnight, and then catch the tram back, or etc., if you need to. So a tourist attraction, I keep on saying about the 2.7 million tourists in Byron. Just take 1% of those and you get the same number as the whole rail trail organisation's estimates of how many people are going to use the rail trail, just rail trail only, after 10 years of operation. So bringing tourists out of Byron Bay to be the main feed for income to the light rail tram operation. And Murwillumbah, with its fantastic tourist destination, a destination of Murwillumbah, where you've got great opportunities for tourist experiences up and down the river. You've got the border ranges. You've got so many things you can do as Murwillumbah as a base. The hardest thing for our tourist organisations in Murwillumbah is getting people to Murwillumbah in the first place. And this is what a iconic light rail system will do coming out of Byron. So it will boost the community income in the towns, etc. Huge. We have some fantastic, we've got the art gallery. We've got M Arts with its fantastic group of artists in there. We've got funky, wonderful shops in town that need people to come in and support and buy from them. And we have some really good coffee shops and cafes in town. It is a destination for people to come and explore. And if they go on an iconic tram, whether it be an old Melbourne tram or something else, a fantastic journey experience. Put on board the conductor who can be an Indigenous person or someone who's passionate about the area they live in, to tell the people how wonderful it is. You go through all the villages, etc. So it will be a massive boost to business in town by having people coming out of Byron Bay. Anyway, next, future. Now, of course, with the population growth, like anything, to be able to join between Condon and across to Kingscliff, across the flat ground, is just, a wonderful extension to an already fantastic idea. So light rail across and then join on with the Queensland Rail to get a train, transfer off the light rail onto a train at somewhere like Tweed, and you've got the major hospital there as well. So you've suddenly connected the community to their major needs. The opportunities for light rail system and trams are massive. And it would be fantastic if there's a bike trail running alongside. Absolutely fantastic. So thank you. I hope you found that good. Okay, stop sharing and switching off the video. Thank you.